Okay, so today we're going to be continuing adding and subtracting of rational expressions, but this time all the denominators are going to be different. So I'm going to quickly read through the notes. If you need to pause the video, then go ahead and do that. All right, first thing is you're going to factor any denominators if possible. We didn't do that yesterday because they were already factored. Then you're going to multiply the numerator and denominators by anything that's missing, so any missing factors, in order to get the same denominators. So our goal is to get the same denominators. All right, then we're going to, once we have the same denominators, add and subtract the numerators. Add or subtract, depending on whatever the problem is. And then the final thing is you're going to simplify by either factoring and canceling common factors, or it's possible that it's already simplified and there's nothing that you can do. All right, so now we're going to go right into the problem. So if you notice, all of the denominators are different. Okay, and step one is to factor any denominator. So this is a quadratic that tells me I should be able to factor it. So if I look for things that multiply to -4, that add to 3, I've got +4 and -1. So these numbers multiply to -4, but they add to +3. All right, so now I'm not really looking at this denominator anymore. I'm looking at the factored version. Okay, so now I want to look for what could make my denominators the same. X plus 4 is already the same, but I want to multiply by what's missing. What's missing over here is x minus 1. So that's what I mean about multiplying by any missing parts to get the same denominators. All right, so in my first fraction, I've got x minus 3 over x plus 4, x minus 1. Over here, I do need to distribute, so you get 2x squared minus 2x over x plus 4 and x minus 1. So now if you notice, you have the same exact denominators. Now you can add. The denominators don't change. You just want to add together any like terms in the numerator. So I'm going to put these in the correct order. So 2x squared goes first. X minus 2x is -1x, and then minus 3. So step 4 is to try to factor and simplify. We could try to factor the top. What multiplies to 2x squared is 2x and x. What multiplies to 3 is 3 and 1. And if I do -3 and +1, outer times outer is 2x minus 3x. That adds up to -1x. All right, so if you notice, though, none of those factors are exactly the same as anything on the bottom, so these are not the same even. You can't cancel anything out. So you could leave your answer like this, or this answer is okay as well, since it really didn't simplify. All right, number 2. That doesn't factor, but this one's a difference of perfect squares. So we can do x minus 2x plus 2. So now ask yourself, what's missing on this one that this one has? It's missing the x minus 2. So we need to multiply top and bottom by x minus 2. So again, you're going to distribute the x, so you get x squared minus 2x over x minus 2x plus 2. Minus 8, we're going to do something with the minus in a second. Okay, so our goal was to get common denominators. Now we have the same denominator. Whenever I see a subtraction, let's make that add the opposite. Then I don't have to worry about it anymore. All right, so now that I have the same denominator, I can add together my numerators. Nothing really adds together, but I just put it in the correct order. All right, now I want to see, does anything factor? So what multiplies to -8 that adds to +2 is -4 and +2. All right, but now notice that you do have something in common. X plus 2's can cancel, so your final answer is x minus 4 over x minus 2. All right, when you're ready, flip to the other side. We'll do the last 4 problems. All right, so we want to look for common denominators. They're obviously not the same yet, so see if you could factor. Usually this is one of the factors, so if you take a look at your other denominator, that'll tell you how to factor it most of the time. Double check. -1 times 3 is -3. When you add those numbers, -1 plus 3 is 2. All right, so now what's missing? This has 2 factors. This one is missing the factor x plus 3. So that's how I know what to multiply top and bottom by. Make sure you distribute. So you get 2x squared plus 6x over my 2 factors. Here I don't do anything. I'm just going to copy everything down. And then once your denominators are the same, you're going to add together. So we got 2x squared x and 6x is 7x, and then we have negative 4. And then we could bring down our denominator. So again, we're going to see, can I simplify this? If I multiply 2x times x, I get x squared. Make that minus 1 plus 4. We got positive 8 minus 1x is 7. Okay, and again, we're going to check, can I cancel anything out? These are close, but not quite the same, so nothing cancels. So either that answer is good, or if you leave it like that, that one's fine as well. But you should always check, because sometimes these do cancel out, as we had in the previous problem. All right, number 4, almost the same denominators, but not quite. If you factor out an x, you get x minus 3. So now look at what's missing. The right side is missing an x. So you need to multiply by x on the top and the bottom. So this is 4 over x times x minus 3, plus 6 times x is 6x, and this is x times x minus 3. Now we have the same denominators, so you can add 6x plus 4, and then combine it into one fraction. Can we simplify the top at all? You could take out a GCF. Your GCF is 2. So 3x plus 2 is what's left over. And then check, do you have any common factors? Nothing cancels, so this answer is good. Or you can go back to this one. I would say these are probably the better answers, because that at least tells me you tried to factor, even though it didn't work. All right, last two problems. Factor out the denominators. We got x plus 2, x plus 1. Notice the x plus 1s are the same. So what's missing over here is x plus 2. X plus 2. Now notice this problem is subtraction, so I'm going to make this plus a negative 3. That way when I distribute, I make that negative 3x minus 6. So negative 3 times x, negative 3 times 2. Then I've got x plus 1, x plus 2. Over here, I don't do anything with the 4x plus 1. I'm just going to rewrite it. And I look to see I've got common denominators. So my denominator is x plus 2, x plus 1. Add together your like terms. We've got 4x and negative 3x. That's just x. 1 minus 6 is minus 5. That doesn't simplify at all. It doesn't factor. So there's nothing you could do to try to reduce. All right, last problem. We're going to factor out difference of perfect squares. X minus 8, x plus 8. Over here, we know that we're missing the x minus 8, right? Because this has two factors. The one that's missing is the x minus 8. All right, now we want to try to distribute this negative sign also. So this should be negative x plus 4, and then we'll look at that as a positive. All right, so on the left side, I don't do anything with 2x squared plus 64. On the right side, I need to FOIL on the top. So first times first is negative x squared. Outer times outer is plus 8x. Inner times inner is plus 4x. And last times last is negative 32. All right, now I'm going to add together all my like terms in the numerator so that I can combine into one fraction. So if you look at your like terms, we've got x squared. So 2 minus 1 is 1. X's, 8 plus 4 is 12x. And then we got numbers, 64 minus 32 is 32. All right, so again, step 4 is factor. What multiplies to 32 that adds to 12 is 8 times 4. That adds to your middle number. So now we've got our numerator and our denominators. And look, we do have something that cancels. X plus 8 cancels. So your final solution is x plus 4 over x minus 8.